Buongiorno. I'm so excited today because we're going to get to drive this brand new Ferrari. You okay? What?
It's a Toyota. Welcome to TuneSpec. I'm Mike.
And I'm Frank. And today we're going to be driving this 2024 Toyota GR86 Premium. Alright, so if you're watching this channel, you probably already know what the GR86 is, but if not, let me give you a brief history. In 2013, we got the Scion FRS. FRS stood for Front Engine Rear Drive Sports Car. The first generation of it ran from 2013 till 2021, and in the middle, about 2017, they changed the name to the Toyota 86 because the Scion brand was no longer sold here in the United States, or I believe anywhere. This is the second generation, which came out in 2022. Under the hood, we have a 2.4-cylinder boxer engine, which is built by Subaru, but it has direct and port injection, which is designed by Toyota. That engine puts out 228 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. That's made it to a 6-speed manual transmission, although there is a 6-speed automatic that was an option, and it's rear-wheel drive. All these cars are rear-wheel drive. To me, small engine, manual transmission, and rear-wheel drive, that is the classic sports car formula. This is a sports car. It's not a race car. We're not going to be beating any Ferraris with this, but it's fun to drive, and that's what it's all about. Now, a lot of revisions have been made to this second generation to make it better than the first. I never drove a first gen, so I don't know if it's really better, but I happen to know somebody who has an original FRS, and I'm hoping that he can tell us whether or not this car is better or just a pretty facelift.
So Frank, what do you think about the style of the car?
So I'll be honest, when I first bought this car about a month and a half ago, I liked it, I thought it looked good, but I wasn't in love with it. But walking outside the house every day and getting to see this sitting on the driveway, I've kind of fallen in love with it. I remember the first time I was walking back from my mailbox and I saw this grille with this lip here on the bottom, and I just thought to myself, wow, that looks really good. The side profile, when you're standing next to this car and you get to see that duckbill spoiler, I love that look. Sometimes at certain angles, this car reminds me of a Lotus Elise. Yes, it's a little bit bigger, but I mean, it's got great styling as far as I'm concerned. I love the way it looks, and I wouldn't change anything. What do you think about it, Mike?
It definitely is a better looking car. It looks way better, more slick. I do like this inlets, and they are functional. Freaking love that. And I've always liked this curvature that it has on the side skirt. That it reminds me of the Lexus curvature, where it just twists and goes up. And it sort of aligns with the ducktail, and I do love that. It's a very good looking car.
Well, guys, here we are. We're driving around in the GR86, and well, I've owned the car for a month and a half, so this is nothing new for me. But Mike's going to get to drive it in a few minutes, and he's been really looking forward to it ever since I bought this. My personal impression of this car, I love it. It brings a smile to my face, and that's kind of what I wanted. I've heard a lot of positive and negative about this car. A lot of experts raved about it, but then they still blasted it for certain things. Yeah, it's only 228 horsepower, only 184 pound-feet of torque, but it weighs 2,800 pounds, maybe a little over. I mean, that's enough. And I've had this discussion before with you guys. What is fast enough for the road? Well, this is. I mean, I can get myself in a lot of trouble in this car, and I don't want to. But at moderate speeds, it's a lot of fun. Any curvy roads, this is a blast. And it does want to get up. It urges you to drive a little bit faster than you should be. So right now I'm trying to find some better roads. I want Mike to experience his car on the best roads I can find out here, so we're having to drive a little bit further than usual to find those. But yeah, this car has done everything that I've wanted it to do. I think it's comfortable. I like the bucket seats. Some people feel like they're a little too tight, a little too cramped. I like that. It's a sports car. That's what I expected. Yeah, it's small. There's not a lot of cargo space in it, but I do most of the errands in the house. I do the food shop and I do the Costco runs, and I've been able to do those in this car. Yeah, there's compromises. There's some adjustments to be made, but I'm doing it. I'm determined to make this my daily driver. I'm getting ready to order some really good snow tires for it because I'm going to drive it all year long. I have about a 35 to 40 mile commute every day, and this is what I'm going to do it in. Rain or shine or snow, doesn't matter. And on a curvy road like this, even at moderate speeds, it just feels so good. It feels planted. The seats hold you in place. These are the premium seats, so I have leather and ultra suede. Some people think it's Alcantara. It's not. It's ultra suede. I don't know what the difference is, but you can feel it. They feel kind of sticky on your body. They kind of hold you in place. They're comfortable. I like them. You do get heated seats in the premium, which is an added bonus because, like I said, this is going to be an all-year car. I'm going to drive it in the wintertime. It's going to be cold. I'm telling you right now it's summer. We're looking at almost 90 degrees here. This air conditioning is fantastic. I have to just throw this out there. This AC is way better than the AC on my Audi ever was. And I wouldn't think that a sports car I would expect to be a little less comfortable. The seating position is comfortable for me. I have back problems and this car doesn't have lumbar support, and yet it's not a problem. Steering, it has an electronic steering rack. A lot of the purists blast that, saying you don't get any feel. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't know what good feeling suspension or good feeling steering feels like, but I feel like it's communicative to me. I can feel what the car wants to do. I haven't once felt like I've been caught out in this car. Yeah, there's been a few occasions where those back tires broke free a little bit, but that's part of the charm of this car. It'll do that. And while that's not how I generally drive, yeah, it's fun. The dashboard, the way it's all laid out, it's very self-explanatory. I hate reading manuals, and I've looked at it a little bit for certain things I couldn't figure out. But for the most part, I've been able to just get in this car, press a button, go, and it's been absolutely fine. And I mean, that's how I feel like cars should be. If you overcomplicate it, if you force me to read a manual, I'm not going to enjoy myself. I want to just be able to get in it and go. Again, I've alluded to this in the intro. This to me is a traditional sports car. It's decent power. It's not overpowered. Yeah, I can break the wheels free, but I actually got to try to do that for that to happen. Manual transmission, and this transmission, it's a Subaru unit, but it's fantastic. While I was shopping for this car, I drove a brand new WRX, and that gearbox was like butter. It was amazing. And I just think they make really good gearboxes, and it shows in this car too. Rear-wheel drive, it is a limited slip differential, which is a plus. And we do have all our safety features. You have traction control, ABS. This car comes with the radar, how do I say that? Radar cruise control, so that if a car pulls in front of you, it's going slower than you are, it will slow down. I've never been a fan of that on work trucks, but in this car, I kind of like the way they've done it. It has emergency brake assist, emergency throttle assist. It's to prevent collisions, and I've had it activated every once in a while. A few minutes ago, you might have heard it beep. A car slowed down in front of me, and it gave me a warning that the car was stopping. It also has a warning that tells me if I'm sitting in traffic and the car in front of me starts to move. In other words, get off your cell phone, pay attention, kind of thing. And I kind of like that feature. That was interesting. This car has 7 airbags. It's got the highest crash safety rating for its class. And for a sports car, and not an expensive sports car, starting around $30,000. This one in the premium trim was about $33,000. You get a lot of good things for it. There's a lot of things that will help save you. And that's not what you think of when you're thinking of a sports car. For me, I just think fun, fun, fun. But my wife drives it sometimes. My daughter will drive it sometimes. And it's nice to know that these safety features are here. Of course, you have ABS. You have traction control. I can turn it off. I have a button here that'll do so. I do have a race mode button down here, and we'll show you that on the dashboard, which if I press that, it turns the traction control off below 30 miles an hour. But once you get up over 30, things start to kick back in to keep you safe, because it, worries it's going to push you. You're going to push it a little bit too hard. Now, this road I'm actually on, I'm not all that familiar on, but it's a nice road. It's kind of curvy. I think we got some farms over here. This is perfect for this car. This is the kind of road that I want to drive a car like this on. So fuel economy is something else that I worry about. This car was only rated at 22 miles a gallon average. So far, I'm averaging about 24.3, but I am having a good bit of fun with that. So I think if I do a long run, I'm going to be close to 30 miles a gallon. So I don't think it's too bad. I don't think it's as bad as some people said. I think people just like to drive this like they're going on a racetrack. And I haven't really been doing that very much. So right now I'm going to find a place to turn around, and I'm going to let Mike drive this car for a little bit because I know he's dying to drive it.
Alright guys, so it's my first time driving the GR86. It does sound better from the inside than it does from the outside. So I'm shifting at 6,000 RPMs. Power band seems to be more like over 4,000, around that number. Seems to really pick up, maybe 35s. It does feel quicker at higher RPMs than the FRS, but it's still sluggish before 3,500 RPMs. Still, like, it takes a bit to move. Still has torque. It just doesn't move quickly. Suspension is very comfortable. It does feel stiffer than the FRS, sportier, if I have to say. It took a little bit out of the comfort, but it's really comfortable. I do not mind at all. It's very comfortable. I'm keeping the power band at around 4,000 or 5,000 RPMs just to keep the power there. And at that, after 4,000 RPMs, if you can keep it above that, it's really fun. So in comparison to the FRS, definitely improvement. Haven't been able to hit above 60s, so I haven't really tested. Yeah, we got some tire slim right there. That is a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. So the suspension has some stiffness to it. You can actually throw it at a turn, and the minimal, if any, body roll. I don't feel any body roll at all. It just feels tight. So suspension is still plenty tight, and it didn't compromise a lot of the comfort. It's a very comfortable car. Transmission, it feels just about the same. It does have more power on the top end. I did feel that. Other than that, it feels very familiar, very comfortable. I gotta say, out of all the cars that I've ever owned, this is one of the more complete cars I've ever driven. It reminds me of my FRS, but slightly better. It's really good. Man, I missed that car. That was a lot of fun. This is one of my favorite cars ever. It's a lot of fun to drive. If you're looking for a daily driver that you can have fun and you don't care about being the fastest car on the road, this is a good car for you. This is a good choice. But of course, you're not going to be the fastest car on the road. It has 220 horsepower, and it's a 4-cylinder NA. So you're not going to be the fastest car, but you're going to have a lot of fun with this car. It's a very good car. It's a lot of fun. Oh man. So suspension is on the sportier side, definitely, with a lot of comfort still in it. It's really comfortable. I miss this car. It's so much fun. For 220 horsepower, it's a lot of fun. And Frank did mention that the engine noise sounds really good inside the car. That's true. It sounds really good. Yeah, I can see why he's not interested in putting an exhaust in it. It does sound really good. You don't need any more noise. With that being said, I will still put an exhaust and I will still put suspension just to make it sportier, but it's pretty freaking good. I like this car. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, so we had our drive in the GR86, and I really want to know, Mike, what did you think about it? What did you think about the power? Let's start with that.
Power band. So you said torque peak was around 3,700 RPMs. I felt the need to keep it 35 or above just to get the full fun effect. But if I kept it above 35, it was a lot of fun. The car took off, it was making the right noises, and it was quite enjoyable just to drive through the turns and have fun. I did notice that around 2,000, 2,500, it was rather sluggish because there's no torque at those numbers. Other than that, it was a lot of fun.
So speaking of going around turns, what did you think about the suspension? Because when I drive it, this, I'll be honest, except for a purpose-built track car that I've been in, this handles better than any street car that I've ever driven.
The OEM suspension is really good. It is built more purposeful for the track and just kind of like rough turning. I don't know how to explain it.
More aggressive drive.
More aggressive track purpose built. You do feel everything on the road. I don't mind it at all. It gives you great input on the road and just makes the driving experience even better. So driving this car was really enjoyable because of all those things. There was a lot of input. The steering wheel had a lot of input. The ground, suspension. It just felt really good to just throw at a turn and have fun. And I don't think it compromised the driving too much. I think it was just fair enough.
Now, speaking of steering input, a lot of people have blasted this car because it has an electric steering box. The original car did, this one does, and they say that it doesn't have good feel. Now, you said you got good feedback from it. I feel like I get good feedback from it. I feel like the steering is nice and direct. If I turn the wheel, that's where the car goes. I think that it tells me what the tires are doing and how they're attached to the road pretty well. Did you get the same impression?
I had no issues with it. It just felt my money. It was really good. It was really good. I have no complaints in that area. My only complaint is horsepower numbers. That's the only complaint. And it's not, compared to the FRS, it's much better. I know that those numbers are great. I just wish you had a triple pit. That's the only issue I have. You know that. 90% of people wish they did. But if you can overlook that, it's a freaking great car. It's an awesome car.
Well, this falls into, in that respect, one of those fast enough for the street cars. And I've said this before. I said it with my Audi. At a certain point, the car is just, it's fast enough for the street. If you're not taking this out on track, if you're not trying to race somebody in it, you don't need more than what it has. Now, we all know if you want to push this thing to its limit, you probably could boost it a bit. I don't think that I would ever want to do that. I'm comfortable with it the way it is, and I bought it for a fun car. I didn't buy this to be a race car, so I'm good with the horsepower that it comes with from the naturally aspirated 2.4.
Okay.
What did you think about the transmission? I really thought it was a good transmission.
It's been a while since I've driven my car, but it's awful similar. No complaints at all. I think my car had the same issue where first gear is a little short, where you feel the need to shift quicker, but that's almost any car. That's the only thing I noticed. I'm not even complaining about it. Other than that, it was really good. It's easy to shift. I was able to rev match with it. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So the complaints I've heard about this transmission were the clutch was too aggressive. I heard that the throttle was too aggressive and it gave you too much in a short movement. And I think I've noticed is at
moving in what? Short movement.
You just give a little bit of pedal and I feel like you get a lot of throttle response. And then when I go to put my foot all the way down, it feels like it's not going to give me any more throttle. Like I feel like the whole throttle band ends more than before the halfway point of the pedal. That doesn't really seem to bother me because, you know, I'm driving on the street. I think if I took this out on track and I was really trying to get as much speed as possible on a long straightaway, which this car is not really made for, that would irritate me. But on the street, if it feels like the pedal's not long enough, you just change the gear. It's pretty simple.
The only thing I noticed with the pedals was the clutch is a little long, but I think it's only because I swapped my clutch out. And it was different, and it was just throwing me off a little bit.
Well, you did that, and you put a short throw in yours. So this.
Yeah, but it's a shifter, not the
right.
clutch.
So this is not a short.
The shifter felt great. I had no issues.
Okay, so Mike, what did you think about the comfort? Because a lot of people complain that it's kind of cramped in there. Now, I'm an older guy. I'm going to be 56 this week. Happy birthday to me. Anyway, I have bad knees, bad back, bad shoulders. I'm bad all over. But when I drive this car with no lumbar support, I'm comfortable. I drive it daily commuting, 40 plus miles sometimes, bumper to bumper traffic. And when I get out, I can stand straight up. I don't feel like I've been beaten up in the car. You're a bigger guy, a little bit bigger than me, you're broader than me. What did you think about the comfort of this car, and what did you think about the seats?
The seat does wrap you a little bit around, but that's to keep you in while you turn. Comfortable. I know. Of course, this is a smaller car. You're not getting a Challenger. It's gonna be a little tighter than those cars, but it wasn't uncomfortable.
I like the fact that, yeah, you have leather and you have the ultra suede, and the ultra suede, I guess, kind of acts like that might be the poor man's Alcantara. I don't know, but it really feels like your body is held in place by that material, and when you take a turn at any kind of speed, you don't feel like you're going to slide off. It feels like you're being hugged in place.
Yeah.
So I think in that respect, it's comforting. Maybe it's like a little hug.
Doesn't matter how hard to go in turns in this car. I never slide, ever. In my seat, I never slide off of it at any given point. The seat is purposely built for that, and it works really great.
Now, I looked at the trunk, and I know you really didn't get to use it much, but the trunk on these cars is only 6.6 cubic feet. I do a lot of food shop, and I do my Costco runs and buy stuff in bulk, and occasionally I've had to put the rear seats down, but I find like there's plenty of room for me to do my duties, to do what I have to do, to buy what I have to buy. I've never once gotten in this car and said, this stuff just doesn't fit. Now that's probably going to come up at some point in time. And it was interesting to me because Toyota and I guess Subaru also advertised this car with enough space if you put the seats down for 4 track tires, which I love the fact that they're going to tell you you can fit 4 track tires, because what does that tell me? They want you to take their car on track.
I can attest to that. They do fit.
And I am going to say this, because this car has a little GR badge, Toyota, any car with a GR badge, they give you a free track day with an instructor and one one-year membership to NASA, which is the National Auto Sports Association. I haven't had a chance to really do anything with that other than look online and kind of check things out. But I got my packet in the mail last week, and I plan on scheduling my track day, and hopefully that when I do that, we'll get a couple cameras in the car, and you'll get to see how good or bad I actually am on track.
That should be a lot of fun.
I hope so.
So the only other thing that I realized that I noticed with the car is that the trunk inlet is slightly smaller by a couple of inches. Other than that, the inside it looks about the same, if anything better, but it looks about the same. That's the only downside that I saw. Everything else that I saw was same or even better.
I have noticed that a couple of things kind of, you have to angle them in to get it back there. But once they're there, I've had plenty of room. I go grocery shopping, I fill the bags up, and I've had plenty of room for whatever I've needed. Like I said, I've made Costco runs, and the big packs of toilet paper and paper towels take up a lot of room. They fit.
Yeah, once you put the back seat on, you get a lot of room.
I was happy with that. You know, I mean, of course, at that point, it's a 2-person car, but usually I'm alone with that anyway, so we're good to go.
Okay. All right. So, Frank, what is your score for this car? I know you're a little bit biased, but I gotta ask you.
I'm a lot biased. So I'll be honest. Okay, let's think about this logically. Yeah, I could say it's a 10 out of 10. And for a 2-door sports car, for the ones I've driven, I do give it a 10 out of 10. There are a lot of cars out there that I would put on the same level as this. I gave the Lexus IS 350 F Sport a 10 rating, and I said that was the best car I'd ever driven. For a 4-door all-wheel drive sedan, yes, that's still the best car I've ever driven. But for a 2-door manual transmission, rear-wheel drive sports car, so far this is the best. Now, I would love to get my hands on some Porsches, some Ferraris, some Lamborghinis. Anyway, but we don't have them yet. So at this point, this is the best sports car I've driven, and it's brand new. And I did buy it, so yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? I'm giving myself a 10 out of 10. How could I not?
So is it a 10?
I'll give this is a 10.
Okay.
For a 2-door sports car, this is a 10. I think it's equally as fun to drive as the Lexus IS 350 F Sport was.
Yes.
But this is more aggressive in the turns. That was just more comfortable. It was probably a lot easier to get on with for daily duties.
Yeah, if you need a back seat that's functional, of course the IS makes more sense. Otherwise, I'll take this any day.
If you need a back seat, seat on a regular basis, this is not the car for you.
No, the back seat is almost useless. Like I said, it's emergency only.
Yes, I've been in there a few times. I can't say I could do it for a long time. Small children, maybe my youngest daughter, even though she's an adult, she's not a very big person. She probably could deal with it for an hour or so, but I don't know that I want to subject anybody to that. What is your rating of this car?
Okay, so my score, it's slightly below the IS only because of the engine. It has 311 horsepower, so it's just because of that, I'll give it a 9.4. I remember I gave the Lexus a 9.5. But out of all the 2-door vehicles I've ever driven, this is number 1. 2-door is better than my FRS.
You drove a 2015 Porsche Boxster?
Yes, but I didn't push it through the limit. So I cruised it for like 3 minutes.
I thought I was getting thumbs up over a Porsche. I tried.
I by the way, it was better because that was automatic. That means a little better.
So do we have anything else for today?
Nah, that's it.
So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe and hit the like button.
We'll catch you in the next one.